I would like to also enter into the record a screenshot of a text message I received from the esteemed professor from Vanderbilt, Michael Eric Dyson, after my CNN interview, begged me for photos. In this text, he says, after calling me racist on CNN, shh, don't tell anybody, we look good together, and sent me a kissy emoji.
Without objection.
Then the guy says I'm gorgeous in all these photos. I don't think he's that bent out of shape on how anyone pronounces Kamala. And if we're going to have that standard, you got to hold it to both sides, not just one or the other. I would like to also enter into the record a screenshot of a text message I received from the esteemed professor from Vanderbilt, Michael Eric Dyson, after my CNN interview, begged me for photos. In this text, he says, after calling me racist on CNN, shh, don't tell anybody, we look good together, and sent me a kissy emoji.
Without objection.
Then the guy says I'm gorgeous in all these photos. I don't think he's that bent out of shape on how anyone pronounces Kamala. And if we're going to have that standard, you got to hold it to both sides, not just one or the other.
Men, too, often acknowledge people's gorgeousness, and men, too, by everybody. So my point is that this is a woman trying to exploit a situation, trying to pretend as if I was trying to hit on her. She literally has that text exchange that I read the whole of it to you. I ain't trying to holler at her. I ain't trying to be with her. I have not dated white women. Not that that's a problem. All three of my wives have been 7 to 11 years older. Again, where in that text exchange am I hitting on you? No, what you're trying to do is generate nastiness and viciousness because you're so bitter because you got your butt whipped that night because I told you then that what you were doing is wrong. And let me correct one thing I did say. That night I said, you're a wonderful woman. And then I said, I know you don't intend to do this. And she said, oh, are you calling me a racist? And of course I said, no, I wasn't. Let me correct myself. You are a racist. You are a racially charged, small-minded, bigoted person who is trying to exploit a situation to try to make people believe that I was hitting on you when I've just now read the entire exchange, which is false. I've read other exchanges with people where I've called them gorgeous and wasn't trying to hit on them. And so your attempt is sad and sorry, but your bigoted, racist attempt will not succeed. Ain't nobody trying to holler at you. And if you're that desperate that you need a black man to holler at you, I'm not the one to do it. There are plenty on your side who can do that, ma'am, but you got the wrong brother in me. Again, vicious, misleading, lying, distorting, and trying to pretend as if somebody's trying to holler at you when that's the furthest thing from my mind. My mistake was being gracious to you, of trying to say, oh my God, we are opposites, but we can still be gracious to one another. I can still compliment you. I can still say nice things to you. There was no attempt to do anything but to be gracious to you. But you have proved to be what I said you weren't. A vicious white supremacist racist who is incapable of accepting the generosity and kindness of a black man. You are a sorry, sick soul.
History and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
So now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a
BS.
racist.
That is complete.
No, you don't have to intend racism to accomplish
You are
it.
intending that I am
Your disrespect
racist,
of Kamala Harris is part and parcel of a tradition. Disrespect.
It's offensive,
Congresswoman, why can't you just?
I'm not calling you a racist. I'm telling you what the practice is racist.
You are. You absolutely are.
Disrespecting. No, what's disgusting is your disrespect of her.
Professor,
this gentleman said, I didn't know her name. He's trying to do it.
Is her disrespect of women. She doesn't know what a woman is. And if 25 years ago,
white women don't have the ability to tell black women who paid the price of blood to make this country what it is to tell them they're not real women.
25
years
ago,
they care for your babies.
25 years ago, I became the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the military.
Just a love note for black women this morning, for little girls, for aunties, for grandmothers, for wives, for partners, for lovers, for teachers, ditch diggers, engineers, around the way girls. to presidential candidates. We black men who have too often failed you, who have too often not said the right thing at the right time, who have been vulnerable to the claim that we have forgotten what you have done for us, the magnificence of your service to our people, the beauty and power of your spirit at times when we flagged. We remember all the remarkable things you have done and beg your forgiveness for us not standing up for you when times were tough or when no one else was in the room to defend you, to assert the legitimacy and validity of your personhood. Please forgive us. But no more will that occur. And so the other night, Keith Boykin and I were on CNN trying to be respectful to the Congresswoman who insisted upon mispronouncing Kamala Harris. Do you call Melania? Do you call Ivanka? Then call Kamala. Then call Vice President Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris. And soon we pray and hope and work that you will call her President Kamala Harris. So this is a note to put on notice anybody who would come for us, who would try to stain the reputation or besmirch the character of black women, not only the Kamala Harrises of the world, but the Shaniquas and the Jackies and the Renees and whoever else a black woman happens to be and whatever else her name happens to be. We will stand tall for them. Not you unprincipled harridans, you people who assault the legitimacy of our black womanhood. More than 20 years ago, in 2003, I wrote a book called Why I Love Black Women. It wasn't a thing. It wasn't black women magic. It wasn't black boy joy. This was before there was a trend. So I've been doing this. I've been on the front line of defending black women. I have been on the front line of saying that despite our imperfections as black men, despite the ways I have personally hurt or harmed any human being who happens to be a black woman on this earth, despite all of that, what I have always understood is the principled deference to their power and their spirit and the principled defense of their humanity in the face of unprincipled assault. And so this is just a reminder that we will continue to stand as black men for black women. We will continue to have your backs. We will continue to uplift you. We will not allow a woman like Congresswoman Nancy Mace. I didn't call her Nancy Machi. I didn't call her out of her name. I insisted that she was a wonderful woman. She proved otherwise in her behavior. And then she immediately, in a reactionary fashion, suggested, oh, you're calling me a racist. I did not. But if who the cap fit, wear it. If that's what you pretend not to be, then don't do it. Racists are who racists do. So the reality is, my sister Nancy Mace, that you must come to an understanding that you don't get the right to call women what you want to call them, especially as a white woman. Do you not understand the history of white supremacy, where white women were able to call black women anything they wanted to, not to have to know their names? So Becky, Barbie, Karen, please understand that we will no longer silently be complicit in the erosion of the integrity, in the assault upon the beauty of our sisters. We love all the women of the world, but on this day, we unapologetically uplift the virtue, the vitality, the viability, and especially the visibility of black women. Let me show you what I'll do to protect this. Shoot at you people like movie directors.